I'd better not forget about that council assembly.
What kind of pig was sitting here? Why is this sticky?
God, what? Good morning, Henry.
Good morning to you too.
Have a good day.
God! Excuse me?
Let it be known that a new one-off tax is to be levied in this city. I know that times are hard, and none of us have much to spare. But look around. Crime of all kinds is surging in this city.
I'm going to see the Mint Master. May I enter?
Any fool could say that. What do you want from...
I have an appointment with him.
All right, go ahead then. But don't waste too much of his...
Glad to see you again.
You have the gall to show me your face again? I'll call the guards.
Hold your horses. I'll come in peace. Actually, I have a little offer for you.
You've come to blackmail me again?
Call it what you like. I need to get into the City Council Assembly. And I reckon you can help me.
The assembly? The one King Sigismund is supposed to attend in person?
No, Sigismund's just a usurper. Wenceslas is the only true Bohemian king.
Singing Ruthard's song, eh? I might have known. Speak then. What do you want? And tell the truth.
I want to know what Sigismund tells the council. I hear it'll be important.
You want to spy? Do you know what you're risking? And what I'd be risking? Forget it.
Have you forgotten I have you over a barrel? If you want to keep your position and your head on your shoulders, you better shape up.
All right, all right. Maybe we can make a deal. If I get you into the council, You'll behave appropriately, and you won't betray yourself, or especially me. And that will be the end of our business together.
I must have misheard you. Our business will be over when I say it is, not before. So pull your head out your ass and see to getting me into that assembly.
All right, Jesus. No need to lose your temper. You can get into the council assembly relatively easily. My cook's son will be serving there. He's roughly around your age. Maybe he can be persuaded to let you stand in for him. Although, not everyone would want to give up an opportunity to serve the King of Hungary.
Who's this boy?
Franta's his name. Franta Cooldown. He's an idler and a boozer, but he's proved his worth as a waiter. Which reminds me, you'll need his letter of permission, otherwise you won't be...
What will I need to work as a waiter there?
Fast feet and good manners.
Excuse me?
Do you think you can serve the king in a torn shirt and...
Well, no. But I never heard...
Our usual waiter had a brand new livery made specially for meeting the king.
Where can I find the cook?
He's supposed to pick up his new clothes at the market today, from Master Tailor Schneider. You'll almost certainly, that is, if he's up and about after his boozing bout.
At the what?
That German alehouse, the Iron Eagle. That...
What would work on...
Would you like me to give you a letter for him? I told you how to get to the...
I'll be going then.
Just make sure we both come out.
I know that times are hard, and none of us have much to spare.
Let's buy some new plates. The finest wares. Quality good.
Good day to you.
You must be Franta Cooldown.
I am. And who might you be?
I'm Henry. I heard you're supposed to serve at the City Council Assembly.
I am. What's it to you?
Supposing I took the job on for you. You can put your feet up, fill your belly, and I'll do all the work for you.
Look here. It's not like I'm all that keen on it, but it's well them councillors stuffing their faces and guzzling wine while I run around like a bug. Why would you want to stick your nose?
Best wares on the market.
I want to see the king in the flesh.
Why's that?
I heard a lot about him. How he won lots of
And as bad-tempered as the devil. He's got the councillors. The more I think about it, the happier I am about... To begin with, you'll need confirmation that you've worked as a waiter at the council. Look here. Do you have any idea what's expected of you?
Of course. Who do you...
All right. Now, show the confirmation to the head butler. Tell him I sent you, and think up some...
That makes sense.
And you'll need a waiter's livery. I didn't get round to picking it up, so go and see
Thanks. I won't disgrace you.
You better not. Farewell, my friend.
Axes, hands, nails, take your pick.
My
All
God.
quality wares.
I've got lots. Have a ball as well and take a gander. You've got it all. A fine day for some fine wares.
Greetings to you. Excuse me.
What are you here for?
I ought to go and see Rosa. She'll be expecting me. And I mustn't forget about the city council.
God bless.
Good morning to you.
Good to see you again, Volkmar.
No bloody way! It really is a small world.
You said you were headed to Kuttenberg. And that you'd repay me.
True, true. Actually, in my haste...
Henry.
Pleased to meet you, Henry. You gave me a second I reckon I could teach you some useful things in return.
Why not?
I'm glad to hear it. And it'll cost you something.
One beer after another. Fruit pies. The finest way. Be shy. Come closer and take a look.
Leather
Quality goods
waterskins.
here.
Leather.
Big and small, round and thin. Come and
Dyed broadcloth. Beautiful colours. Striped fabrics.
Go around.
Come to your senses
Everything
yet?
you need.
Oh, fuck you. I'm telling you, Conrad's going to win the tournament.
And I'm telling you, he doesn't stand a chance.
Conrad wins every time. Just look at him. He could cut you in half without even pulling his...
Finest mugs. Mugs for sale.
Greetings to you.
Come and take a look.
Tools! Quality tools! Sheet metal! Chains here! Iron and steel! Big, strong box! Here, twice
Oh!
I'm telling you, Conrad's gonna win the tournament. And I'm telling you, he doesn't stand a chance. Conrad wins every time.
You read what you say. What a day. Come and take your pick. Pie, sweet pie, fruit pie, finest wares, quality goods. We've got enough to go around. Anything you need. Start. Fine day for some fine wares. Bread rolls. Pancakes. Cabbage. Sound as a bell. Don't be shy. Come closer and take a look. Quality.
finest leather!
Lord be with you.
Honey pies! What do you need, sir? Quality goods, the
Take care.
finest way.
God be with you.
Sweet fine day, Take your pick. Finest wares, quality goods. Come and take your pick. New wares. Greetings to you.
Bowls, pots, softest linen canvas. The finest. Come and buy the finest canvas.
A fine day for some fine wear. How can I help you?
I'm sorry.
We've got enough to go around. Anything you need. Come and take a gander.
I heard you're in need of money, friend.
Aye, true enough. I need to pay the tithe and give something to the church for my father's requiem mass.
Isn't it a bit early for that? It's ages till St. Wenceslas's Day.
I went to see
they
my
don't
brother.
collect tithes.
About the inheritance, but your father's still alive. Aye, but he drools all over himself. He gets this- Exactly. Let me tell you, I'd rather die poor but
Greetings. Here. Cabbage flatbread.
I apologize. No, it was Jan, the beanpole.
Him? Onions! Strong onions! White, yellow and red. The best on the market.
What do you need?
Show me your ware.
Nothing. To your liking, sir?
A fine
helping here, and you're in the
Take
clear.
your pick. Honey pies. Pies like no other.
Shoes here.
Greetings to you.
Hot lids.
What would you like, sir?
I hear one Franta Cooldown is supposed to come and pick up new clothes from you.
Aye, the finest. I spent the best part of 2 weeks' work, but it was worth it.
As it happens, Franta asked, he gave me a certificate. See?
I was hoping he'd try them on one last time before final adjustments. But, very well then.
Embroidery, silk embroidery, ribbons of all colors.
Juicy pears.
Sale.
We've got enough to go. Buy 2 pots. I've got lots.
Shoes here.
Have a bowl as well. Sound as a bell.
Hands off the door. You're not allowed here.
Are they men?
Excuse me. Franta Cooldown sent me. I'm to stand in for him at the council assembly.
Franta's not coming. What's wrong with him?
He got poisoned. He's writhing in agony. By turns, praying.
Oh, that's enough. We can't be without a waiter here when the king... So, let's have a look. Have you got Franta's certificate?
Sure.
Everything's in order. You've got a waiter's cap. A tunic you have. Hose are good. You can put your steel aside in front of the council chamber, along with your other stuff. You won't be needing it anyway. You don't want to be dragging a load if you're running around tables. Everything as it should be. Glad to see it, lad. Do you know what your duties are? For an inexperienced greenhorn like you, it'll be a great responsibility.
Well, I'll happily listen to any advice. I wouldn't want to foul things up.
I should certainly hope not. Now listen. A good waiter should stand in a corner, look willing and, in short, behave as if you're not there. But when one of the gentlemen calls for wine, you run and pour it for him on the double. You'll find the pitchers on a table by the door to the chapel. You take one and go to their table and pour for them. White Tokai or red monastery wine.
White or red, by the door to the chapel. Got it.
But for Councillor Adam of Zarzhitz, you must not pour at all. When he drinks, he disrupts and makes trouble. So the assembly has to be interrupted, or otherwise it never reaches an end. We can't allow that to happen in the presence of the king.
All right. Sir Adam of Zarzhitz stays dry.
And if the king himself wants wine, you pour for him with lowered eyes. Don't
look at him. And the most important thing?
Remember who wants what?
That too, but more importantly, do not disturb the councillors at their work. They have a lot to discuss, and in general, a good waiter has to be invisible, blind, and deaf.
Oh? I thought I had to keep my ears pricked.
Well, yes, but only to what anyone wants from you. No excuses, and provide everything that anyone wants from you. Understood?
Absolutely. I'm a waiter, after all. Not some street gossip monger.
Correct. And if you manage not to botch it up, you can even rise on the social ladder. Not just anyone can serve the King of Hungary, but you'll manage it. Right?
I know everything I need to.
Excellent. Put away your things here. It's easier to serve with a lighter load. You can wait in the cubbyhole.
The city reserves are in urgent need of new weapons. Unverzüglich. Our current Waffen... arsenal is a joke, and on top of that, the army was requisitioning from it. Should the town reserve have worse weapons than any Räuber in the domain?
What are you
Hey,
getting
waiter,
at,
pour me some
Aldris?
Sky.
I'm saying that the bandits who freed Hinnik, the Dry Devil, used that thing.
I apologise, sir.
That
Which wine?
Tokai, white tan can. Are you deaf? Can you believe it? Where did they get them?
You're the one who should know where they got them, since you're a gunsmith.
What are you implying, Friedrich? All I'm saying is that they had them, Herr God. It is eine Schande when outlaws have better weapons than the city garrison.
Are you deaf or something?
And Herr König surely knows this too.
What is it, Eldris? You smell a deal?
What I smell is that your stubborn heads do not realize what Schwierigkeiten this is.
Boy, are you deaf?
The Dry Devil is
Why?
running free. There are Raubricker everywhere in the region. We have the army bearing down, and you want to defend yourselves with a few rusty halberds.
And who is it you want to fight? Exactly.
You can shove that damn
The
picture.
merciful King Sigismund is providing us with protection, isn't he?
Der König and his army will not be here forever.
Shut up! The king can arrive at any moment. What if he heard you?
What then? We're sitting atop the biggest silver heap in the kingdom, and we're supposed to defend it with brooms?
You're right, Eldris.
Waiter,
Where
get
can we
me
get
white.
the coin for better equipment?
We
I
can always
apologise, sir.
confiscate the property
Which
of the
one?
king's
Tokai.
enemies. Nicht wahr?
White.
We are more
you
than
deaf?
familiar with the yeomanry state of our armory, and the king is surely aware of it as well. Maybe if he waived some of the taxes.
The king fears that this town will rise against him.
Good,
He'll
sir.
take the arming of the city's militia as a preparation for war.
Well,
So
thank
you
the
suggest we
Lord.
just wait with arms crossed for the Raubritter to wreak havoc all around?
We can always ask the king to bring order to the realm with his army.
But then the Dörfler will rise up.
I'm afraid
Hey,
as he
waiter,
knows the
pour me
solution
some
of the
monastery
current
wine.
situation. We shall wait and see what His Majesty thinks about
I
the
apologise,
matter.
sir.
Maybe we can
Which
change his
wine?
mind.
Red! Am I
Vielleicht.
speaking in Latin?
Good, sir.
Well, thank the Lord.
I'd like to report to the Honourable Council on the cleanliness of the city and the state of the public baths.
You mean baths or brothels?
Isn't it the same thing?
Another drop of wine. Don't make me beg.
So, the cleanliness of the city is not what it should be. The current baths in
Sorry,
the city
sir.
fall far short
Orders
of
from
covering all
above.
the citizens' needs.
You can
You're
keep
right.
that slop.
We do have
I'm the
neighbour.
biggest wine connoisseur in
Adam's
town.
old ones. But I hear the Hopring bats are more of a pigsty.
More wine,
They
Master
still
Bailiff.
are a bit,
I have enough.
but the quality went downhill at Adams, too.
What? Pray tell. I thought you were a frequent customer there. Or has he grown tired of pampering you for free?
It's not about me.
I need something from you. There is an item in my study that I confiscated from a female thief. She thought she could wriggle out of it by telling me who the item belongs to.
And what is it?
A silver goblet. She sneaked into Sir Ulrich's house and stole it. No one's noticed the theft yet. But if Ulrich finds out, he'll turn the city upside down to find the culprit. Go and get it. And don't you make a mess there, understand?
Should not be underestimated.
Nor overestimated. If someone needs to wash, there's a river just...
Where can I find?
Use your eyes and come right back.
And they can get leeches there for free as well. And while he's there, a man can shave and take a... you-know-what.
So what? Going to the bath is neither a civic duty nor a right.
Have you forgotten the Black Death? A great many people died needlessly.
Are you questioning God's plan? The Black Death had nothing to do with the baths, unless the Lord wishes to punish the wickedness that's going on in there.
Keeping the city clean is important, but we don't have money to spare. Arguing about who is going to wash where and how
Nice.
is a waste of time.
Whose silver might
It's
be
only a
great.
waste of time because we're always arguing about the same...
So, did you find?
I did.
Not so loud. And now go back to your job.
Do you ever walk the streets here? Sewage, rats, slop, and rubbish. The least we can do for the citizens is to provide them with a place to wash up.
What nonsense! Next, you'll want me to serve wine to everyone for free, too.
Why not? In Jerome Nas's earthly paradise, everything would be free.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Gentlemen, let's agree to disagree. What if the king heard us?
I got word that Rutard has pulled off another deed.
That's nothing unusual. That old weasel will never accept that the city isn't run his
I fancy
way.
some Tokai.
At least until His
Refill
Majesty
for it.
honours us with his visit. And as we know, Gunslin
I apologise,
absolutely
sir.
hates him.
Which wine?
He can hate
Why,
all he wants,
Tokai?
as long as he does no damage. Ulrich, what have you got to say about it?
Me? Well, I'm not sure what you're implying.
Horseshit! You know full well, everybody knows, he wiped the floor with you.
Compose yourself, Adam, and stop drinking.
where's
the
my
king
wine?
might come any time now.
That's right.
Sir?
Let's not burden the anointed monarch with such...
Well, thank the Lord.
Compose myself. Me? I beg your pardon. I demand that you...
Ruhe! Franz, please continue.
I'm speaking about the Rutard
Full cup of
incident.
monastery
You
wine.
were there, weren't you?
Oh, that.
I apologise, sir.
Just a small
Which
misunderstanding.
Red.
We've
And
sorted it
quickly.
out and everything's settled.
My ears must be deceiving me. Are you defending Rutard? Besides, if his men attacked yours, as I've heard, then we have
Sir?
a good reason to punish him.
What happened there? Leave nothing out.
I don't like Ruthard, true, but in this case it really was nothing.
Everyone in the city gossiped about it. I heard there were several dead.
Did you? That's grossly
Hey, waiter,
exaggerated.
pour me some
I
time.
don't think Ruthard will cause any trouble. He is sensible enough not to draw attention to himself while the king is here.
That's true. Because if we don't do something about him, the king himself will put an end to him, and
Are you
soon.
deaf or something?
Unless he puts an
Wine,
end to
sir.
us
Wine.
first. God knows what he wants to tell us.
Well, thank
Nothing
the...
happened. There's no point in dwelling on it. Let's move on.
Things have got out of order in the town. Some adventurers decided to take the law into their own hands and restore the tradition of duels. It's not only barbaric, but... so illegal. I could understand it with mercenaries, students, and other scum of all kinds, but city councillors?
Be specific, Forsooth.
I'd like some
Are you
monastery
blaming
wine.
one of us?
Refill my cup, boy.
Look who spoke first.
First of all, it wasn't a duel. It was supposed to be an honourable combat. And I didn't even take part in it.
Don't hang around the only reason you're still here on the council and not in the pillory.
If you want to blame somebody, you should point the finger at the youngster here who's...
Come here for a moment.
Me?
Ah, never mind.
Refill, sir.
I
you think I come
suspect
to
the
the
gentleman
council
from the
just to
city's
guzzle
sword
wine?
fighting
Come here.
school brought this custom to us. It's now run by the German Menhard. Who knows who?
What can I help you with, sir?
I left my gloves in the chapel. I took them off to pray, but then I rushed here and forgot to take... I can't just get up and walk out now.
All right.
I knew I could count on you. While you're at it, count how many... Because I'm bored, and because I told...
By the bailiff. And that's that. There are more pressing matters to deal with.
More pressing than the open contempt of the
That was
whole
easy
town
enough. And
garrison.
they wanted me to count
the guards
the
are
winged
apparently
figures.
settling accounts their own way. We'll soon be the laughing stock of the whole town.
You can rest assured the whole town is already laughing at us all day long. So what if they have one more reason?
My words exactly. The town council is squabbling constantly at the Emperor Charles.
So, let's see what you've got for me.
I found your gloves, sir.
Really? Let's see, did you count those winged figures?
I'd soon be out of customers.
Ah, to hell with it. We'll never get anywhere.
I counted 16s.
And did you count all the monsters and that?
Oh, I thought you meant only...
Go back to serving wine.
There's the eternal dispute over the cathedrals. The building of the church is dragging on, and in the meantime, they are calling diocesan pilgrimages to settlers, right under our noses. It's just a village with a monastery, and they are going to make a royal mining city. Why can't we build faster? Hire more craftsmen, start with night shifts.
Because those
You there,
so-called craftsmen
A cup of bread.
are a
And
band
don't
of
you skip on me.
parasites. You pay them, they come late, or report sick, and if they do come, the work is shit, and you have to pay someone else to
Monastery
put it
wine.
right.
Here.
It's a waste of time. I tell you,
Sorry.
a waste of time.
Adam, don't interrupt the
You,
proceedings
lad.
with your drunken
You look
ranting,
familiar to me.
even if you are.
Have we met?
And
Well,
as for
naturally.
you, Gwendolen,
I go to your
haven't you
tavern
noticed
almost
there's
every
a
day.
war going
Really?
on? Are the
Then you must
experts
have
from
decent
far
wages to be able to visit the best tavern in town regularly.
Besides, I get the feeling there's something other than the welfare of the city behind your complaints.
Oh, you do? Do you? And what would that be?
Like, for instance, that you'd like to have your own altar there?
So what if I would?
Hold your horses, gentlemen.
Waiter!
That space
Pour
in the
me red
side
wine.
lane is mine.
Then hell freezes over, my friend. Your place is at least 2 steps behind mine.
A swordsmith dares to insult me? Ha! I think not.
Excuse me?
Waiter!
You wanted to buy
I
yourself
wanted
an
monastery
in the
wine.
cathedral, just like you bought yourself a seat in this
It's
council.
you?
How dare you?
I see you've come up
I
in the world.
acquired my
From a
seat
bathhouse
for
boy to a
services
waiter.
Our guild provided
You'll go a long way.
and still provides to the crown.
Well, I hope
Might
you're
make
not so
councillor
equipment
one day.
to the army. If that's all they have,
You're a merry
they
soul,
will be
lad.
defeated by
I
the
like
bunch
that.
of ne'er-do-wells from the alehouse on Oprik.
What ne'er-do-wells?
Those wrestlers of theirs, of course. People from the whole town go to watch them brawl.
Oh, this is news to me.
Because
Hey,
it has
waiter,
all
Mr.
been
Takai.
sorted out. Not long ago, the guards raided and threw them all out.
Ah, yes, I had forgotten. What do we have to discuss next?
Boy, are you deaf or something? Wine! White!
Sir?
Thank you, waiter.
I'm telling you, something is being planned.
Oh, I doubt it. No one's going to tackle Rutard.
Elegio Petonaikas, Stelkinek Utra.
You have nothing to fear. Not you.
And like this plan of fights!
Come now, Father. Put a little life into your dying. See more cheerful priests at funerals.
I'd rather be at one than here. I hoped I'd never see this fortress again in my life.
Unpleasant memories?
You have no idea. I didn't part ways with my father on entirely good terms. 20 years ago.
And now you're 2 decades older and wiser. At your Ujitz parish, you spread the word of God to your flock, and you saved my neck and Henry's too. I'd say your father should be proud of you.
None of that matters a damn to him.
Who knows? Maybe that 20 years has changed a thing or two.
You know what? Let's drop the subject. Do you know any of the guests here?
Most of them I'm seeing for the first time in my life. It's a pretty varied company. We've had bandits, nobles, burghers, a priest, and even a rabbi coming together here. It's like the start of some joke.
Wait a moment. Rabbi, you say? The Kuttenberg rabbi?
Yeah. He came with a retinue. But for now, they keep it mostly to themselves. Maybe you should go and welcome some of them. After all, this used to be your home. And you're a spiritual man too, so you should have something in common.
I wouldn't be too sure. But I suppose I can try. Who's that French fellow you brought here from Malachov?
The great Baron Brabant. Been everywhere, knows everything, has the keys to half the kingdom. He's got more fairy tales than my old nanny.
Can he be trusted?
He's a blabbermouth, but a harmless one. Besides, he defended Kuttenberg, and you know how that went. If he were on Sigismund's side, he'd hardly have been locked up with me.
How does it feel to breathe free air again?
What can I say? You can never truly appreciate freedom until someone locks you up for a while.
Or until you become a priest.
No fear of that in my case. I intend to enjoy life to the full. Wine, women, and song.
What do you plan to do now you're a free man again?
What do you think? Get drunk,
woo one of the local wenches, and wake up in the morning with no hose and a head like a church bell.
Have you perchance forgotten we're supposed to be deciding the future of the kingdom here?
I'll leave that to the older and wiser. And Dollar.
Dear me. I'd rather creep off into some corner with a full wineskin. But I suppose I'll have to introduce myself to the rest of the guests, eh?
Indeed you should. After all, you are one of the Lords of Rabosh.
Oh, don't start with that. I'd like to steer clear of the old man as long as I can.
In that case, you should sound out Radzig and Hanush and find out what they're actually planning.
Greetings to you too.
Such rare guests. One wouldn't expect to find among Christians representatives of your community. I'm Godwin. My greetings to you.
Peace be with you. Neither would one expect a priest here, and yet...
How do you know I'm a priest?
It's not difficult to tell. After all, we have much in common. And we are both a little on unfamiliar ground here. I'm Yehuda, leader of the rabbinical court in the sacred community of Gutenberg. And this is Samuel, my aide.
Who would rather not be here at all. Why did we have to come here, Sadie? Can you not see everyone is staring at us?
Because we all need to help each other in this time of need. And why would they not stare when you are frowning so?
Are you here to arrange some trade?
We have more serious matters to attend to here than gaining a few groschen. The situation in the town and the kingdom is unsustainable. The whole land is on the brink of destruction. You have men and weapons. We have the means to sustain them.
Why are you telling this to a Koimer? You wanted to deliver what we brought to the Margrave and quickly leave.
Everything in good time, Samuel. We have just arrived, after all.
Did you come to lend money to the lords?
Not to lend, but to give. Help given to the needy is repaid only by God.
You don't even know if you can trust them. With that money, we could have paid mercenaries ourselves.
You remind me of my young friend Henry. He's a bit of a hothead too.
Henry? That messenger of Radzig Kobyla?
You know each other. You're both around the same age.
That would be him. But we did not get off to a very good start.
I reckon the two of you would hit it off. He's reliable and has his heart in the right place. For a young stripling, he's been through plenty. It's not so long since his parents were killed in Skalitz. He was supposed to become a blacksmith, and instead, he's roaming the world, risking his neck at every turn.
Wait, a blacksmith, you say? From Skalitz?
Aye, that's right. Did you know anyone there?
I knew of someone. A blacksmith by the name of Martin.
My daughter knew him most, and that is why Samuel is in this world. For our numerous sins.
Maybe he was my father, but he certainly didn't act like one. Ma raised me on her own.
And that was all for the best.
Why? He should have taken care of me, but instead he fathered another bastard.
Don't make hasty judgments. As far as I know, Martin didn't have any other children. At least, none of his own. He took in Henry and raised him as his own on the orders of the Lord of Skalitz, Sir Radzig Kobyla, Henry's real father.
I don't care if he took care of 20 other Mamsas.
That boy's bloodfather denied him, just like yours did to you.
A person can't choose their parents. And Henry only found out about it recently.
Enough. I'd rather have a drink. Will you have one too, Zayde?
For that, there will be more suitable times.
Excuse me. I'd better not drink.
Better communion wine than kosher, is it?
It's easy for him to rouse people to war when he has nothing to lose.
From what I heard, he's well capable of raising hell.
I'm glad you finally accepted my invitation.
Good health to you, sir. I'm Godwin, a friend of that lad you arrived with, Henry. We don't know each other.
Baron Vauquelin Brabant, Chevalier d'Arezzo. The last of my line.
I am a warrior, a traveler, a strategist, and also, à ma manière, a poet.
My word. Isn't that exhausting?
Mais non! And I'm glad to meet a new friend.
It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Baron. I knew right away we'd hit it off. How did you end up imprisoned in Malashov?
Ah, c'est une histoire compliquée. It was after I heroically led the defense of Gothenburg, and only lost it narrowly by an unfortunate turn of events.
That needs some explanation. What unfortunate turn of events?
Oh, misère. It is clear you have never been to war.
So, be so kind as to enlighten me.
When they broke through the defense, I ended up in captivity. It was only due to my acquaintances in a court that I escaped execution.
Oh? I thought it was Henry who saved your neck.
My neck was not at risk in Malashov. I may have still been a prisoner with my personal freedom restricted, but they never broke my spirit.
You say you're a poet? How about a verse or two to amuse us?
Jamais. Is poetry nothing but a fuss to you? Is a poet a gesture for amusement? I think not. To recite, I require the proper mood. And besides, few here would understand me.
Where have you been on your travels? Have you seen the ocean?
But of course! I was born by the sea. If you are interested in my greatest journeys, then I have traveled with a merchant caravan all the way to the Ottoman Empire. And if you are interested in my greatest deed, then that was perhaps saving the life of the King of France.
And you wouldn't by any chance know the Pope, personally?
Which one do you mean? I spoke briefly with Boniface IX when I was sojourning in Rome. A pleasant fellow.
How come almost nobody here knows you?
I am operating, as they say. Incognito. My great benefit is my strong connection with the French court. There, everyone knows my name. Here in Bohemia, I'm still building my reputation, slowly, but surely.
Dear friends and allies, in these troublesome times, you all know why we're here. The question remains, what to do next? Sigismund is facing troubles in Hungary, and here, too, he is up against resistance. He's a capable strategist, but a poor diplomat. Mark my words. If we wait him out until winter, he will leave of his own accord.
By winter, he'll have torched all our fortresses and carried off everything that we possess. Are we seriously gonna wait and cower in a corner? Or are we gonna drive them out in shame? A few well-planned raids and we could have him in our fists!
At what price? Have you got men to spare? Has any of you got men and money to spare?
We don't have men out there.
Yes, we do.
We do not.
Jobst is right. That whole sun won't fall easily.
Only we can't wait.
Are we to get ourselves killed?
Or end with nothing?
Do you have a need? I'm not going to die.
Friends, we'll get nowhere like this. Let's adjourn ourselves and try to think it through.
Well, that went just as expected. Good health, and to yours. Could it have gone any other way when there's so many of us here? I would have expected a bit more sense from Jobst, of all people. He made an amateur's mistake. But it's hard to be angry with him when he's trying to ingratiate himself with everyone. By the way, I'm John of Liechtenstein. And you must be Godwin, the son of...
That's not a thing I've ever boasted of. How do you know that?
I have my sources. From what I've heard about you, I'd judge you could be quite useful to me at today's gathering.
Is that so?
Indeed. And that's why I'd like to ask something of you.
It depends what it's all about.
A little delicate diplomacy. I expect we can agree that Jobst's plan has certain shortcomings.
That's a weak word.
And the way it stands at the moment, he'll never get the support of the council. But I have an idea how to change that.
Well, I'm curious how you hope to shut Zizka up and satisfy the ones who want peace.
We'll sit and wait quietly until Sigismund withdraws of his own volition, as Jobst proposes, but we'll be waiting in the military camp of our huge new army.
When Sigismund sees that, he'll be off to Hungary all the sooner. At a gallop.
Exactly. Sigismund's army is demoralized and weakened. And besides, he's running out of resources. He's able to tackle fortresses that aren't able to defend themselves, but he won't engage an equal force on the battlefield.
But he can't retreat either. That would be a disgrace.
And that's exactly why we'll wait until he's called back to Hungary by events there. For the plan to work, we need allies, their money and their determination. We've already set the ground for it. We just need negotiators who will push the right people in the right direction.
Are you saying you set everything in motion even before Jobst?
More like in parallel, but without his knowledge. If we find support and make it look like the whole thing was his idea, we'll all win.
Why are you doing all this anyway?
Because I want to put a stop to the senseless deaths. And also because I'm happier with Wenceslas on the Bohemian throne.
You've got an interesting way of approaching things.
You're certainly not the first to tell me that. I take it as a compliment.
I'll help you. What exactly should I do?
I'll give you 3 names. Botchek of Kunstadt, Hamann Alder, and Anna of Waldstein. If you can get those 3 on our side, we've won the day. Meanwhile, I'll take care of Jobst.
What if it doesn't work?
I refuse to even consider that outcome. Because it would mean slow, but certain defeat for all of us.
Why me, of all people?
Because you've got a head on your shoulders. You know how to talk, and you're not just out for your own good. You and your friend Henry are similar in that respect. That's why I know I can count on you both. There aren't many like you two left.
Tell me a bit more about those people, so I know who I'm dealing with.
Certainly. Who do you want to start with?
Botchek of Kunstadt. I know the name, but I can't quite place him.
That's just the thing. He's got massive estates, great influence, but he holds back. He doesn't play the big game, because he doesn't like to take risks. He always goes for the sure thing. But once he's made his mind up, not even a pair of oxen will hold him back.
Alder the Alderman. Wasn't he a Kuttenberg councillor?
He still is. The only one who retained his position after the city was taken. Only he's here, instead of cozying up with Sigismund in Kuttenberg. So his days in the council are numbered. But he'll continue to have a strong influence on the guilds and the rich burghers. And that's why we need him.
Anna of Waldstein. The widow of that rich mine owner. What was his name?
Wenzel Bartosz. And I'm not surprised you forgot.
I was quite surprised to see her here. Assemblies like this are more of a...
A male affair? So far, Godwin, so far. Anna is holding back and behaving like an exemplary young widow. But don't trust appearances. She's got claws, she knows how to do her sums,
And she certainly has no love lost for Sigismund.
And what use can she be to us? Apart from her late husband's money, of course.
She's as sharp as they come when it comes to trade. And she knows a thing or two about diplomacy. There are wicked tongues that claim Bartosz acquired most of his wealth thanks to her, and that it was thanks to her that he died, too.
I'll get on it then. Wish me luck.
I wish us both luck. Before the day is over, the die will be cast.
Success to our plans.
I'll tell you, nobody has the likes of these.
Not even Bocek?
Not even Bocek. And he's a great...
I'd like to check your horses out and see if they're as good as you say.
Pah, even better. But you won't believe it until you see for yourself.
And you might not believe your eyes when you do see them. Well, well, we have a new guest.
I wanted to...
You wanted to apologize for crashing into my home without it by your leave? Or to arrest my guests some more?
I want to have a word with Older.
Well, I'm having a word with you.
I apologize, Father.
For interrupting our conversation? Or just for being you?
Is that your...
Unfortunately. Speak up, then. What are you doing here?
We'll talk later and in private. Right now, we have more important things to attend to.
Don't try my patience.
Why so strict, Martin?
20 years ago, he was nothing but a cheeky brat, only interested in wenches and booze. I got him a place at the Archbishopric to have some sense beaten into his head. Only it wasn't long before they kicked him out. And then I find out he's settled in some backwater parish in Sassau. But he took his boozing and whoring along with him, lost everything, and then came creeping home again. Huh?
Try saying it again a little louder. They might not have heard you in the outer courtyard.
You have the impertinence to show me your face after the way you disgraced our whole family?
You're exaggerating, like you've always done.
Me? Exaggerating? You're the one who turned my home into a house of ill repute. Your whores wandering around as if they owned the place.
Oh. Actually, anything fun was strictly banned under your roof. But maybe you ought to try it yourself sometime. Then maybe you wouldn't be such a bitter old grouch.
You're dishonoring your host.
I can't dishonor someone who has no honor. If you had any, you'd be...
That's enough.
Christopher.
You won't get away with those insults. I challenge you to a duel.
I refuse to fight. I'm here as an envoy, not a jester.
You've got no other option. You insulted Father's honor.
Gentlemen, surely there's no need for violence. I can have a word in private with Lord Oberyn, the second, as he desires, and then...
Out of the question. This uncouth lout needs a lesson. And he's got plenty to learn from Christopher. By God's grace, I have at least one son I can be proud of.
You want satisfaction? You'll get nothing but shame, as always. Suit yourself, then. We'll fight. Come to the outer courtyard, but quietly. We don't have to put on a show for the crowd.
After you.
Well, that's that. Now, where were we?
Shouldn't we rather...
No, Christopher will sort it out, you'll see.
Make room for us. We'll just settle a very private matter. It's an honorable duel, man against man. Stay back.
You're no match for me!
Cut the ball.
Cover your right side! You've got a gap there I can drive a cart through!
Not bad for a priest.
Good one.
Hey, who taught you that?
With your legs!
Ha! No chance.
Just like in Kosovo! Charge
They teach you that in
and
the seminary?
no mercy! Look in my eyes!
No, you don't.
At my sword! You don't know which end of that thing is up!
Ha! No chance.
Swing with your whole arm, not just
No
your
chance.
wrist! Left arm lower!
That was sneaky. Ha! Fuck you. Wanker!
Otherwise, the first strike will put you on your heart!
Sacre! You're fast. Enough. That will do. My God. Where did you learn to wield a sword like that? Father always said you were a good... for nothing boozer. You could teach sword fighting in a school.
I was in a war. Right after they kicked me out of the archbishopric. And you ought to know yourself. Not all the faults that Father sees are real.
Aye. Well, I apologize for going off like that. I had to, so that...
So Father would be satisfied. I know. Only he'll never be satisfied. The sooner you realize that, the better.
I thought he was the way he was because his first son let him down. And he hoped at least his second would become something.
Not at all. I remember him the same since I was a nipper. When I was 6 years old, I fell off a horse and broke my leg. He wouldn't talk to me for a week because I'd let him down.
The first time he took me hunting, he let me starve for 3 days until I was able to shoot my first hare.
Only 3 days. He got soft.
I always wondered who you were. There was never much talk about you at home.
Look, I really did fuck up everything I could. I brawled and boozed until they threw me out of my own parish. But now, I have a chance to put things to rights a little.
And that's why you want to talk to Alder.
Aye. The outcome of this war depends on it.
That sounds very important, considering you and Alder are both pretty small players. After your encounter with Father, it won't be easy to get to Alder. Actually, I don't think you should even attempt it. Unless you want to anger Father even more.
What else can I do, though?
I'll talk to him myself. He'll hear me out for sure. But you'll have to trust me and tell me what it's all about.
Do I have any choice?
If it's really that important, you don't.
All right, then. You've heard Yob's plan, right? It's a nice idea, but we can't wait around without an army to back us up.
Only no one's going to pay for one, because that would be an outright admission of rebelling against Sigismund.
Alder's got some clout with the councillors and burghers who are loyal to Sigismund. If he agrees, they'll follow.
I expect Alder's not the only one you're after.
You got that right.
Leave Alder to me. The plan sounds sensible, and he's no fool.
I don't know how to thank you.
You can drag me to a tavern sometime. Pa doesn't need to know about it.
You're starting to sound like a brother.
Godwin, you wouldn't be avoiding me. We didn't have much time for conversation on the way here. Let's rectify that.
With pleasure, sir. As it happens, there's something I'd like to ask you. I couldn't help but notice your son has a bit of a talent for getting into trouble.
To put it mildly, but not to do him an injustice, knowing young Lord Capon, he undoubtedly contributed to that more than a little. Although, if they didn't pull each other out of trouble, God knows where they'd be now.
Wise words. Still, Henry's come a long way on a thorny path. I trust you're rightfully proud of him.
You know, I am. And Martin would also be glad, even though Henry chose a different path than he.
May God grant him eternal rest. What are you expecting from today's gathering, my lord?
Well, I have no great expectations. But, all going well, we may be able to establish some joint... steps towards the future. As long as we proceed without prior agreement and mutual support, we will be very unlikely to achieve any progress.
Where did you leave Sir Divish? Surely he's not too old to miss out on such an event.
Haven't you heard? Lady Stephanie is with child. No one even imagined Divish would produce an heir at his age.
As they say, doesn't matter who kneaded the dough, as long as there's a pie in the oven.
Godwin.
Well, it could be a miracle. Praise the Lord! May I have a word with you, sir?
You? Anytime. With you, at least, there's some sensible conversation. Unlike this pack of conceited upstarts.
Young Lord Capon is finally free again. Let's hope he'll take better care of himself now.
He got a harsh lesson. But at least he might remember to lay off that tomfoolery of his for a while. But if not, war will make a man of him soon enough.
Do you think there's really going to be a war? I mean a proper one, not just sitting around and talking about it.
I sincerely hope so. Whoever sits around risks nothing. It's time to get off our asses and take action.
Have you got something against the Kuttenberg nobles?
Their forefathers lived up to their ears in dung. But thanks to the royal mines, they were born with silver spoons up their asses. And they think that can turn their blood blue.
But surely they're not all like that. And they are our allies.
Allies or not, someone ought to show them their place.
What do you think about Jobst?
Are you testing me? Jobst called this assembly and he wants things to turn out well. We have to trust him.
To turn out well for whose benefit, though? Some are up to their elbows in silver and blood, so others can live in freedom.
Better make sure you're among the latter, then. And in the meanwhile, help the former to keep their losses to a minimum. Take a look at that. A nightingale surrounded by hawks. Job's amazing.
It's more like a wake. Good day to you. God be with you.
Groschen.
So, talk about inheritance, but your father's still alive. Aye, with truths all over himself. Doesn't get it off.
Sir, I don't believe I...
Nor I, until now. I am Sir Conrad, Lord of Wächter. And you are the heir to the Lord of Rabosh, are you not?
Used to be. My father somewhat disowned me some time ago.
And I used to be the Royal Mint Master, until the King decided to replace me.
Do you think you might get your position as Mint Master back again?
I doubt it. Half the town hates Vavak, but no one would even think of saying a word against him. And he knows that his security stands and falls with his function. So he clings to it, tooth and nail.
We've got quite a bit in common, wouldn't you say?
More than you think. If my memory doesn't deceive me, you serve as a parish priest. So I recollect, at least, from my recent discussions with Martin.
Served. That's in the past.
Even so. Before King Wenceslas appointed me his mint master, I was a priest. I was even being groomed to become a bishop.
And now look at us. We have cast off our robes and merrily hatched plots against Sigismund.
There's no point in waiting for divine intervention. On the contrary, the current state of affairs demands quite a secular approach.
Are you going to support the Margrave's proposal?
I haven't quite decided yet. It's true that displeasure against the king is noticeably growing in Kuttenberg, but if our rebellion were to come face to face with Sigismund's army, I'd be risking my future, if not my life.
It was a pleasure to meet you.
Likewise.
God be with you, noble lady. There's something I'd like to ask of you.
God be with you. What would that be?
Your diplomatic support. And your money.
No beating around the bush, eh? I like that. But what do you want my money for?
Margrave Job's plan has some gaps, milady. We need to gather enough resources to...
To muster an army that Margrave can't afford on his own?
Christ. Be praised. You're astute.
I should say so. All sorts of people have their eyes on my money, and divining their intentions is a necessity. Although, between the two of us, it isn't hard to figure out what Liechtenstein is after.
How do you know Liechtenstein's behind it?
I know most of the people here very well. Many of them certainly have doubts about the Margrave's plans. But they wouldn't dream of stating them aloud. While it seems that Lord Liechtenstein, on the contrary, sees his opportunity.
I'd say you have a better nose for people than most of this crowd.
Not only for people, but also for good food and wine, and beneficial deals.
Who did you learn from? In my experience, women usually learn other skills.
I acquired the basics from my husband, God rest his soul. And the rest I learnt quickly, as soon as others started sniffing around his estate. So, to the point. What is it that Liechtenstein wants from me?
Nothing more than support and resources for an army to parley more effectively with Sigismund.
Nothing more? I'd say that's plenty. And why ask me for help? Why should I, of all people, take the risk?
It's not only your money we're interested in. You're well able to negotiate and trade. And if you were to take part in our plan...
Then I'd be helpful to you on 2 fronts. If you want me to support you, you must give me a good reason. Perhaps a favor in return.
Do you have something in particular in mind?
Well, one of the guests here has something that shouldn't get into the wrong hands.
Who's that?
Harman Alder. Now, if you were to switch these papers for the ones he brought with him, I would support your proposal.
Have you fallen out with the town councillor?
No, no. Alder is innocent in the matter. My relatives from the House of Bartosz are behind it all. They're disappointed that I dared outlive my husband, and the fact that I'm handling his estates makes their hair stand on end.
And these papers I'm supposed to switch, what do they concern?
My relatives somehow dug up some trade contracts between myself and certain undesirable parties.
You were dealing with the enemy.
They were not the enemy at the time. My conscience is clear, but I'll rest easier when those papers are in my hands.
I'm supposed to rob an ally.
Harman Alder was given the documents to deliver to the council. He hasn't yet had a chance to look at them, so he won't even notice the difference.
And the papers I'm supposed to plant on Alder?
Just insignificant documents. If the incriminating ones disappeared without a trace, it would arouse suspicion.
All right, I'll help you. Or at least I'll give it a try.
Alder will surely have the papers in his saddlebags, which he left in the shed on the outer courtyard. Bring them to me, and put these there instead. But watch yourself. Odorim's groom has eyes everywhere.
What brings you here? Huh? What? What do you want? What? Huh? What the? here for, you crook? Good day to you.
Greetings. Greetings, my friend.
God bless you, sir.
Greetings to you.
Can't leave unattended for a few days without him damn near getting executed.
Oh, go easy.
I've got those papers from Alder for you.
Quiet! You don't have to...
Milady, with all the clamour going on here they are.
You're more...
You're welcome. And now you're part of the bargain.
As agreed. I will support Liechtenstein's proposal with both words and money.
Thank you, noble lady. God will...
Yes, quite. But let's drink to our bargain, Godwin.
I'd like to, but I'm afraid of...
Wise. No matter, I shall drink.
Sir Kunzlin, I haven't yet had the pleasure.
You're Godwin, aren't you? I've heard about you from Martin.
Oh dear.
Have no fear. I know Martin well, and I know he's prone to exaggeration. Anything I can do for you?
I expect you know Lady Anna of Waldstein well.
Why wouldn't I? She's joined at the hip with my daughter Rosa.
I hope she doesn't feel unwelcome here. I've heard she's...
To her own relatives, certainly. But I'll tell you one thing. I knew her husband, Wenzel, and he married her out of love. And I cared for him devotedly till the day he died. And it wasn't a quick death.
So it's not true what they say? That his demise was convenient for her?
Vile slander. People just can't forgive her for coming into a fortune as a young widow.
What do you think of the rabbi's offer? The Kuttenberg Jewish community is large, and their support could change everything.
Or nothing. To be honest, I've no idea what to expect of the rabbi's offer.
He said he was interested in an alliance, though, didn't he?
Aye, but still he must be aware that whatever happens, it won't change the lot of his people.
So you don't trust him?
And isn't it natural? It's not just faith in the walls of their quarter that separates us. They live in our city, but they're more foreign than the Germans or the Hungarians.
Will you support Margrave Jobst's plan?
That depends on what it is. If he decides to just wait, then no. I can't take that risk any longer.
Do you think we should look for help somewhere else?
I came here for one reason alone. To hear a plan of attack against Sigismund. If Jobst doesn't lay one out before me, I'll try and find someone more courageous. God be with you.
I'm gonna kill that bastard. You hear me? Kill him!
Was he hanging around her again?
I ain't letting that bastard go. Next time, I'll kill him. I will.
Everything all right?
I can't wait for it to end so we can get out.
I reckon you'd have to be pretty brave to come and mingle with the Kud.
Or pretty pissed off.
Or that.
We will leave as soon as we can. Anyway, all of these worthy gentlemen would be...
Would you tell me something about your community?
What can I tell you? It was never exactly glorious. And now especially, everyone is quaking that what is...
Surely it won't be that bad.
There are many fools who would rather take out their gall on us and start to fight in times of uncertainty. It is...
Seeing this?
How are you getting on so far?
Aside from the happy family reunion...
I'd almost forgotten about that little detail.
Father is...
Keep it up. We still just don't overdo it with the wine. No one takes a walking wineskin sip.
Again? He's supposed to be a bloody sawbones, for fuck's sake.
He's nothing but a bloody fraud. I mean, who the hell does he think he is? He's not...
Sir Bocek, I need to speak with you for a moment.
A man hardly puts his cup to his lips and someone comes along to put a flea in his ear. Yobs comes up with a plan as full of holes as a beggar's shoes, and now you're all jostling to win me over for him.
On the contrary, I've come here with an idea how to improve it.
Does that improvement include a few thousand men-at-arms? If not, you can go to the devil with it.
A few thousand men-at-arms as a convincing argument. And 100 horsemen on top. Only in order to get them, we need coin.
You've got my attention, but not my money yet.
How can I persuade you?
I need guarantees of security. I don't want to end up like Rutard.
Of course. Once it comes to protecting property, ideals go out the window.
You can talk, since you haven't got a pot to piss in yourself. If you were in my position, you'd think differently. I have a lot of property, lots of subjects to look after, and along with that, the Lord blessed me with a large family. I can't risk it all in a conflict with Sigismund.
So you need guarantees that you won't be left standing in the cold if you openly oppose Sigismund.
My guarantee is called Yitka. She's my niece. If I succeeded in marrying her off to another strong house, I'll have the certainty that I won't be left alone.
Maybe it's enough to find a suitable groom among the allies.
Perhaps someone of suitable standing who Yitka would also gladly accept. I don't want her to be unhappy.
I believe Liechtenstein is single.
And an uncertain party. Besides, he's inconvenient for Sigismund. Yitka could end up being a pawn to blackmail both of us.
How about young Lord Capon?
He's a youngster still.
A jug of wine, thanks.
He may be young, but he's got something between his ears. He's got battle experience. And when he gets the estate that's his by right, he'll be well secured for life.
If he gets it. Right now, Hanush lords over Rattay and seems quite happy with that state of affairs. On the other hand, the lords of Lipa have a good reputation, and Hanush can always be relied on despite his temper. Maybe it's not such a bad idea.
I'll convey your offer to Lord Capon. If he agrees, we can celebrate our rise.
I don't care what the young lord thinks. Hanush is the one to decide. If he agrees, I'll be happy to support your plan.
Pushing a friend to tie the knot to save the kingdom. Things have come to a pretty pass.
The kingdom will not forget his sacrifice. Now stop dilly-dallying and go and tell Hanush.
You seem a bit out of sorts. Anything wrong?
Oh, these grand aristocratic assemblies are nothing for me. I'd be happier if they just told me in the morning how it all went. What my boys have to do next.
But then you'd miss all the grub and the booze, and the gossip.
Oh, and have you heard anything interesting here?
It seems Liechtenstein's looking for allies. For his own ends.
And how's he going to do it? Didn't you see them all fighting tooth and nail here just a while ago?
Well, different approaches work with different people.
The only approach that'll work with Sigismund is open resistance. Maybe on the field of battle?
Let's hope young Lord Capon manages to stay free for a while longer. Ever since leaving Rattay, he's gone from one pile of trouble to another.
That's one thing you can always count on him for. I'll gladly wager with you he'll end up in some other shit by evening.
God forbid. Henry's not here now to pull him out of it.
In that case, it'll be up to you. I'm sure you wouldn't leave him to disgrace himself in front of Hanush.
A lot of people think the wealthy burghers will stick with Sigismund, whether out of fear or convenience.
Well, that's to be expected. As long as Sigismund has the city council under his thumb, no one will rock the boat.
Well, at least there's a few individuals here, like Ruthard.
Sigismund confiscated his castle and half his estates. That'll be enough to make a man mad. Not to mention that his son was killed in the siege of the city.
Mate, but you used to be a real...
Good day to you.
I know.
Sir Hanush, I bring happy tidings.
You do? Let's hear it then.
Young Lord Capon is going to get married.
If he's got some impoverished noble's daughter pregnant, I'll have his hide. I'm not going to support some bastard.
You misunderstood my meaning. I was the one who arranged the betrothal. I mean, with your blessing.
You arranged a marriage for my ward? Just like that? With who?
With the niece of Sir Buchek, Lord of Kunstadt. Her name's Yidka.
Buchek of Kunstadt? The Buchek of Kunstadt? Godwin, you conniving old bastard!
Oh, fuck.
I don't believe it. So, young Hans is to marry Kunstadt's daughter?
Niece.
If you're serious, I'll make sure that you get the Rattay parish.
Or you could make me the abbot of Sassa. Or what about a bishopric?
Forget it. Soon I'll be paying for a wedding. Not a word to Hans. I want to tell him myself. But let's drink to it, shall we?
I must sadly decline, sir.
I'll take that personally.
God bless.
Sir Bojack, your niece Yivka can start preparing for her wedding.
So Hanush agreed, without reservations.
Indeed.
Then I will fulfill my end of the bargain without reservation.
Thank you, Lord of Kunstad.
Enough formality. We'll have a drink. What do you say?
Cheers to the beautiful Lady Yitka and the unhappy Lord Capon.
Here's to a good bargain.
I'm still hoping it works out and we walk out of here with a clear plan. But maybe you were right. It was probably not the best idea.
I've got some good news and some bad. News for you.
The bad news is there's hardly any females in this whole damned place. There's some old bat standing there with two young girls, but she watches over them like a mother hen. So at least tell me the good news.
You're going to get married.
Good one. Is she at least pretty?
I don't know. I've never seen her.
You're really a barrel of laughs, Godwin. Wait till Hannah hears this. Now, enough nonsense. Let's have a drink to your health and my freedom.
To your health.
I wouldn't lose faith just yet. Sometimes all you need to do is send the right man to whisper the right words into the right ears.
You mean you managed to convince someone influential? Not at all. I manage nothing.
But I have found someone who could pull a thorn out of our side and get some influential people to join our cause.
And who is this secret envoy of yours? I'm still hoping it works out and we walk out of here with a clear plan. But...
Gentlemen, I think we can raise our goblets to the successful conclusion of the negotiations.
is this supposed to be your secret weapon?
Like I said, miracles happen where you least expect them. Tell me, Godwin of the House of Odorin, what news do you bring us?
I bring nothing from the House of Odorin. But the widow of Waldstein and Sir Bojack of Kunstad will support our cause.
Both of them? Good heavens, what did you promise them?
This is going to be a long story, and I could use a drink. So if you'll excuse me, my lords?
It would seem that we have all benefited from the break in these proceedings. New alliances have been formed. And I have also changed my plans. We shall still wait for Sigismund to withdraw his troops of his own accord. But we will wait with an army at our backs.
Yes. And how are we to raise an army? Wasn't it made clear at the meeting that no one wants to take the risk?
The only thing made clear was that each of us alone is weak, and that we could not find common ground. But that has now changed.
King Wenceslas is, by the will of God, the Balbatim of all his subjects. Not only the Christians, our community, and not only ours, will give you coin.
The Kuttenberg houses are still loyal to King Wenceslaus, and we stand with Lord Ruthard.
And if that's not enough, the houses of Leipa and Kunstadt will unite and march side by side.
My niece, Yitka, will take young Lord Capon as her husband.
Lords Kunstadt, Hanush, Radzig, and I will set out immediately. God willing, we will be back within 3 weeks, along with an army.
Now those are words worthy of a nobleman.
My friend, I still believe that words are more powerful than swords. And our words will ring in 1,000 voices to the glory of King Wenceslas!
After we conquered the city, you promised to restore order immediately. And then I find out things are even more disordered than before.
Your Majesty, we are sorry. We will put it to rights.
You've already said that. I want to hear real solutions.
We will put more guards on the roads and toughen penalties. We can have a few captured bandits executed as an example to others.
We do not care about bandits. We care about rebellious nobles and burghers. What will you do with them? How will you solve the chaos in the town administration, the rebellious miners, and the dismal yields? And how is it even possible that a rebellion against the king is smoldering here in the city?
What do you mean, sire?
I hear the resistance is coming from the Jewish quarter, from right under your noses. Why haven't you done anything?
We don't know who is behind this. Without evidence, we cannot punish them.
Otto von Berghoff did not ask questions in Prague either. He acted. And I advise you to do the same. Find a couple of wretches in a hole somewhere, point them to the Jewish quarter, and give them free rein to do anything. The city's Jewish community was and still is on Wencesla's side. They need a warning.
We do not even have enough men to...
Marquardt, could you spare a few men for a while?
Of course, sire. I'll assign them to Eric. He'll take care of it.
So you see, all you have to do is make sure the city rabble get their share. You could at least manage that, couldn't you? And if the thought should cross your minds that you would get rid of the debts to the Jewish moneylenders this way, forget about it. Your debts will remain, up to the last groschen. Only now you owe us directly. And while we are on the subject of money, has the yield from the mines finally matched last year's?
Sire, the deposits are dwindling, and mining is becoming increasingly difficult. And to make matters worse, the miners started rebelling.
Don't take us for a fool. They'll stop rebelling when you pay them proper wages.
Your Majesty, we can't do that.
Silence! How dare you oppose the kingdom's protector? You're a bunch of incompetent sycophants! Chicken shits! Not any better than the scum hiding in the forest.
And drunks! Give them hell! Lazy fools, the lot of them.
How dare you?
Some of you are even swelling right here in the city council meeting. This is unbelievable.
Remove this swill pot from the hall immediately.
I'm telling the truth. This whole council is a farce. The whole city knows it.
Lord of Sargitz, your insolence just cost you your place on the council, and a month in the dungeon.
But...
Hopefully that'll be enough for him to sober up. And if not, put him in the pillory for a while, bailiff.
I'll see to it as soon as the council is over, Your Majesty.
All I hear from you over and over again are excuses and prevarication. And results? None. I therefore place the city council under the authority of Sir Marquardt von Aulitz, who is present here, with immediate effect. He will make sure you finally do your duty.
But, sire, that would be a violation of the privileges granted to us as a free mining town.
Silence! I am the only guarantor of your rights. You have to earn your privileges, not hide behind them. During my brother's reign, this idleness was perhaps tolerated. But that is over now. You were given... a few simple tasks. But instead of working on them, you idled in the baths and lined your pockets. And let the traitors cast their nets undisturbed. But unlike my brother, I am capable of creating order. And I assure you, I do not distinguish between those who stand in my way. Be they beggars, noblemen, or city councillors. You have 2 weeks to restore order in the city and increase mining output. I want clear results, and you answer only to me and Sir Marquardt von Aulitz now. No one else. The council is dismissed. You, don't go anywhere, boy. Be so kind and remain here. Our throat has become rather dry. And we still wish to speak with our friend von Aulitz.
Yes, sire. As you wish, sire.
Between the two of us, Marquardt, was I not perhaps too harsh on them? And speak candidly. We have had enough of false flattery.
Sire, you are harsh, but rightfully so. These councillors, they need to be shown their place. You suffered their insolence for far too long. And the same is true of the Jews.
We know. Otto repeated to us several times that it is time to strike against them. We are glad he's not here. He would be intolerably self-satisfied if he knew we had heeded him.
Boy, can't you see the king's cup is empty?
You tend to us as if we were infirm. Boy, pour us a monastic wine. The monks had a good year. We have concerns, friend. The Hungarians are rebelling. Our army is falling apart, and we have enemies here on all sides. Would we had a proper army instead of human mercenaries? They cannot be relied upon. And we are no closer to our goal now than a few months ago. Thank you. It is a good year. If our father were still alive, he would have been astonished by the mess that a few years of Wenceslas' reign brought to us. With a single word, he would have put the nobility in their place, and the country would flourish. God grant him eternal glory.
We won't need much more time. We'll arrest the traitor Odorin, and the rest will fall in line.
You say the others will be brought into line, but what do you know of them? We know only a few of them. But there's a fortress standing on every damn hill here. What side are their lords on?
We'll find out soon enough, sire.
If only Wenceslas were not such a stubborn ass, and relinquished that throne that he has no use for anyway. The nobility, on the other hand, found a ruler like him very useful. They made a puppet out of him.
Once you restore order, they'll join you. All you have to do is promise them the privileges they lost during Wenceslas' reign.
First, they'd have to be willing to make peace at least among themselves. Jobst does everything he can to sow chaos, so that he himself emerges victorious in the end. This business makes me thirsty. Pour me some of that red, boy.
I think Jobst is just waiting for the right moment. He'll switch sides when it suits him.
Maybe. But first I'll have to conquer a few more cities, and get a couple more lords on my side. Then they take the threat of war seriously. And Hungary. If Bohemia is a wasp nest, then Hungary is a viper's lair.
You will follow in his footsteps, sire, as soon as you get the chance.
But the wine is good here. To your health, Marquardt. And to your health too, boy. May your children grow in a land ruled by a good king.
Thank you, sire. You are too magnanimous.
Why? You did a good job. You can be proud of yourself.
To your health, your majesty.
First, we need to crack down on the biggest troublemakers.
We're working on it. While the consul was meeting, Otto von Berghoff and his men set out for Rabosch. Odorin won't give you any more trouble.
He and Ruthard are in it together. Once we get Odorin, we can handle Ruthard easily. Rabosch will be yours. After all, Otto has already got Malishov.
I appreciate your confidence, sire.
But the devil knows there are a lot more strongholds to conquer here.
For the king, red wine, boy.
No. We shall have white. We have had enough of red.
White it is. Quickly! If Rabosch falls, others will follow.
I think von Berghoff's little contraption will find its use again.
If need be, we could use it to raise this town hall too. And I have some suggestions for other candidates.
Not so fast, my friend. It's a wondrous tool, but we can't rely on it forever.
But to bring it here to the square and point it at the city hall? Those sycophants would only benefit from a warning like that.
It's a splendid idea, but it won't be necessary. The councillors are quite fearful enough already that they can hide nothing from us.
There's been enough fretting, sire. You shall see. Soon we will drink to the conquest of another fortress.
You are right. So then, to victory. And you, boy, will you drink with us? So that you shall have something to tell your children and grandchildren.
To victory, sire.
To today's, and those of the future.
I sure that Rothschild made sure.
Everyone heard. And who is this young bug anyway? I've never heard of him. Get another
Prepared bills. About the girls or the piglet? You in need of something, my wild friend?
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows.
Touching.
Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the worse it is. Give me a few more years and I'll become a professional mourner.
See now. I'll gladly drink to that with you. Only there's nothing to drink. We've run dry.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of week-old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it. Get sniffing quick.
Beginning.
How'd you like our wine, Shiva?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition in La Belle France. Recipes are passed on from father to son, and each generation brings them to perfection. I myself was practically raised on wine. How many I have tasted? Even the French royal court took note of my refined taste. The king himself had wine delivered for his table according to my advice.
I expect his lordship had the best barrels rolled out. Now, if you'd only known he had a real connoisseur here.
Best barrels! Mon ami, this wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would suffice for cleaning wounds and easing pain. For that, the taste is of little consequence. Give me 100 knights in full.
Begging to be eaten.
I couldn't resist.
They got by without us so far. They'll be fine.
Margrave Yorsky. Didn't he say that Lord Kronstadt was going with them?
I'm filled with grief.
There's a compelling argument in any debate.
Finally, fuck off.
No words.
Keep going.
So you keep saying.
I'm talking about trample over us one after another.
I wouldn't disparage you. But when it comes to affairs of state,
The roast was calling out to me, begging to be eaten.
In the morning.
The rat'll be good, I hope.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Ruthard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of your fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. He wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to the celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty.
Hey! Hey! Intruders! Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
Jesus! The surrounding crystal! Can't take it!
Hey! Get him! Fuck! Now you...
Jesus! They're surrounding Christopher. He can't make it on his own.
I'll be done with you in a flash.
Jesus! They're surrounding Christopher. He can't make it on his own.
What are those fancy moves, for fuck's sake? Knock him down!
You won't.
Not one step back! Stand your ground!
I'll hack you to pieces. Hey! I need a hand here!
What are you hopping about? I'll smash your face off! That's right! Drive those horses out! Greetings to the devil! Do it!
Jesus! They're surrounding Christopher. He can't make it on his own.
Help me! You killed me!
I'll be done with you in a flash.
Step back! Stand your ground! Smash it! Fight him! You won't be able to take another one like that! Do it! Bash him on the head! Kill him! fighting?
Shit! He's nearly got me!
Man.
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me.
Do my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get... Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
Well, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Conrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Jobst long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but not everyone was so lucky.
What happened, Godwin? Who died?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't stand a chance against those butchers. May she rest in peace.
She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother.
But only almost. Good luck.
What do you mean, almost? What happened?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father, but nearly lost his life doing it. Nothing.
Old grievances aside, Odorin is an ally, the same as Rutard and Bocek.
Oh, they all have their quirks. Cousin Bocek's a money-grabbing magpie. But I wouldn't give up on the fucker either.
We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where von Berghow took them.
Where did they go? Back to Ratoi?
They've got to raise an army for us. And I hope they fucking hurry.
So we have a plan to counter Sigismund?
More of a promise than a plan.
But, as you can see, our allies are getting scarce. We should lay low until Jobst gets back.
I'll gladly play dead for a while.
Be so kind. And don't speak of the dead.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you. But von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
He wanted Odorin. He probably had no idea they'd find most of Sigismund's enemies here in one place.
I bet he couldn't believe his fucking luck.
And Sigismund will be moving at a gallop. We have to be really careful now. One wrong move, and he'll hang the lords.
Is there anything we can do?
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. He could reveal a lot. The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, I want to know about it. I'll be with Christopher.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know, I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well,
Thank God we all survived. Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter. And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined. Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone. You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them. I'm going with you. Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join. Jesus Christ. We have to take care. Should not come here.
You? Sam, I need to have a word with you.
Uh-huh. That makes two of us.
Just tell him. You may not get another chance.
I talked to Godwin. He said you know each other?
What did you talk about? Me?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and Martin lived with me and Ma as long as I can remember.
When I was born, he was already long gone. Maybe we are not even a year apart.
And what does that make us then?
Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your God and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, it would be easier. But now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me that I did not get to know him.
I can tell you about him if you want. But now is not the right time. This is not the end. We have to go to Kuttenberg, now. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a Gezerah?
That is hard to explain.
Nonsense. It is as clear as day. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless. Ransack their houses and divide the loot. And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not expect Sigismund to be in such a hurry. We need to get back into the city and get the people out, quick, before it begins. Will you come with us, Henry? Every man counts.
I'll come. And Liechtenstein already knows about it too.
Very well. We should get going right away.
Let's not waste time.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. We have to get to Kuttenberg. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed it too, if you know what I mean, but,
Could you stop blabbering already? We don't have the time.
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir, if you can, come with us and help us.
All right. But could you please tell me what the fuck is going on?
I'll explain to you on the way. Time is running out.
Are you coming too, Sir John?
Of course.
Do you think that's a good idea? No offense, sir, but you're no great warrior.
I'm not. But I'm not just going to sit here and wait, either.
All right, then. Let's go.
Perish. Can we go any faster?
Settle down, son. If you must keep your tongue busy, then use it to pray.
Would you tell me what the fuck is going on already?
Sigismund ordered an attack on the Jewish quarter. We need to get everyone out of there fast.
Bloody hell. I just got ailed up so nicely today.
Oh, that is just great. My mother's life is in the hands of a drunkard.
Don't worry. We'll save your mother.
And everyone else too. Don't forget that.
You seem to care an awful lot about these people, sir.
Are you surprised? It's all my fault. If they weren't helping me...
That Reuter Sigismund, may his name be erased, would have found some other excuse to get rid of us.
Look, it's not that I don't feel sorry for you, but don't you think maybe we could make the horses go a little faster? At this pace, we won't make it there in a week.
We really should pick up the pace.
All right. Schnell! Schnell!
What's the matter? Why are we stopping?
We will walk from here. We cannot drive right into those murderers' arms.
But how do we get into the town, then?
We will go through Sherwill.
There are many abandoned mine shafts under the town. One of them ends here.
Won't it collapse on our heads?
We'll find out soon enough.
Follow me.
What a blessing it is to have found the passageway.
Ours? What the fuck did we do to these people? Halt! I heard something.
Nah, not this way. Liechtenstein went another way.
We should split up here. Me and the rabbi will go this way to the shul. We have to take the Torah and warn everyone.
What about us?
You keep going straight ahead and then to the left. You'll get right to the King Solomon Tavern. Gather up all the secret documents and wait for us.
Shouldn't someone come with you, just in case? How about Kubienka here? Henry and I can handle it.
Well, if you insist.
Was that all the contempt you could muster up?
Well, good luck. We'll see you up there.
We have to go this way. Hopefully we'll find it quickly. I left a stack of my papers in the tavern. And if they fall into Sigismund's hands, people in other towns will die too.
How can a few pieces of parchment be that important? And what do they contain, anyway?
Nothing very pleasant for the most part. Who hates who? Who could be blackmailed with what? Who's hiding where and why? In short, nothing I can afford to lose. Hopefully everything will be all right at the tavern. My stash is locked away, and Samuel's friends are guarding the place. But who knows what the situation is like in the streets now.
Are you afraid?
Me? Do you have any idea how many times I've had to run from a burning town or deal with a hired assassin?
More than once, I reckon.
A lot more, I can tell you. But I admit, I was afraid every single time. Damn it!
What's the matter?
The door leading up to the tavern is open. Samuel's men wouldn't have left it like this. Somebody else must have got in.
I think there's someone walking up there.
Go and check it out. If they took anything down here, they mustn't get out alive. I'll gather up my things in the meantime. I'll meet you outside the tavern.
I knew a bloke who tried that. I don't know, actually. I saw him go to Eric's tent to give him a piece of his mind, but never saw him come out.
Bugger this, not a damn thing here. If we go back empty-handed, Eric will give us a bollocking again. Damn it.
I can't leave now.
Baruch Hashem, Henry. You're all right.
Sam, you're back already? How does it look outside?
A few of the cutthroats got in over the walls, but we dealt with them. But there are more outside the gate.
4 of them were here in the tavern, too.
Fortunately, they didn't take anything important. But your friends paid for it with their lives.
What?
I'm so sorry. If it's any consolation...
But they didn't look like they just came to the tavern by chance. Eric must have sent them. What about your mother?
She is, thank God. I told her to get ready.
I'm really sorry about your friends.
There was nothing you could do. Benavis Hamardes. This Eric is really pissing me off.
There'll be plenty of time for that later.
I'm sure Mama is waiting for us. We have to take her to the shore.
You go ahead. I'll lock the tavern and block the secret passageway so no one else can...
But sir, if any more of them come here...
I can take care of myself. Now go. God be with you.
Henry, my ma is waiting for us. Get her.
Oh, Himmel! What's the matter? Where's Sam?
Don't worry, ma'am. He sent me to take you to him.
Mein Gott! What happened to him?
Nothing. He's out on the street helping the wounded.
Wait! Who are...
My name is Henry. I'm, Do you remember Martin, the blacksmith?
Of course I do.
I'm his... son.
Was sagst du?
Sam told me that...
Watch out! More are coming! Run to the back, it might be safer there!
What's going on?
Sam, are you all right?
I'm fine, but we will talk when you are safe. Now run!
We have to get to the synagogue. But how?
Through the backyards. Follow me. Watch out! They're shooting at us! From the ramparts! Get rid of them! They're gone. We have to keep going. Through the yards. Leave us alone! That is Judith and Lev. Can you help them?
Please leave her alone, or...
Or what?
Oh mein Gott! Es ist vorbei!
We cannot get past the wagon. We have to go this way. Through the house.
The place is clear now. Come inside. Mommy, are you all right?
I'm fine. But what about you, my...
Kiss them all now!
Come on!
What the hell?
What is it, fuckers? Rather slaughter women and the defenseless?
Let's go! What's going on up there?
Go inside. Quick.
It's the fucking task.
I've never been so glad to see you two.
In need of a helping hand, are you?
No. I just don't want to die here alone.
There they are!
Well, now we're really fucked.
Mustn't get inside! We have to hold them back!
For how long, though?
As long as we need to!
What the hell is this?
For glory!
You'll be fucking sorry. Fight us all.
Back him on the head!
I surrender!
I'll crucify you! Smash him up! Smash his face into me or get him out of here! Crucify you!
I'm wounded!
You'll kick the
Come on! Everyone's inside!
Henry, come on!
Let's go!
God more men.
Let's go. It's this way.
Damn. That was a close shave. I reckon I should go to Samuel's mother and talk to her about Martin. I won't get another chance.
So? More than I would like. You know, Henry, I've been through a lot of battles, but this one was real shitty. Like defending a village that...
I'd say one side was a bit more innocent than the other.
I suppose so, but still. Yesterday, this bunch of idiots would never dream of attacking anyone. And today, putting such bloody-mindedness into people's heads. Oh, it is all too easy.
You're probably right. What now? Are you going back to the Devil's Den?
Why do you ask? Do you want to come with me?
Not yet. I've still got work to do here.
Go on. I will wait here.
Don't worry. Even if that happens, it will be able to pull the wagon. Look at him.
Yes. Pull it
Return,
through.
O Lord.
But it
How
will
long
not
shall
be
thou
done.
be wrathful?
Are you alright?
I'm fine, lad. I thank you for everything.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Mein Gott, boy. Have you not helped us enough already? Now we have to manage on our own.
I know this might not be the best time, but... Do you think we could talk about Martin?
Right now? Well, all right then. How is Martin, actually?
He died. It's only been a few months.
Oh,
Sigismund burned down my village. Pa went to help Ma, and... well, they both died there.
I am sorry to hear that, lad. But that is the Martin I knew. He always put others first. At least you survived. That would make Martin happy.
I'm sorry I don't have better news to give you.
Do not worry about it. I am just sad he died before he could meet Samuel.
Is everything all right?
Yes, do not worry. We were just talking about Martin.
How did you meet Martin, if I may ask?
It was such a long time ago. He wanted to open a blacksmith shop in town, but there was no place among your people, so he tried his luck in our quarter.
And that's where he met you?
The rabbi gathered the good men so they could decide whether we wanted to have a goy blacksmith. And Martin wouldn't stop looking at me all night. Then it went schlag auf schlag.
So what happened that made Martin leave you?
My Martin would never leave me. My father found out we were seeing each other and did his best to drive him away. To marry a goy is isur deoraisa, forbidden. But Martin would not give in, and we kept seeing each other, until one day, I was ubore.
That means pregnant.
Yes. My father knew that if word got out, he would not be able to avoid the shame. So he did not miss a beat and took me out of town in secret. I did not even have time to tell Martin the news. I was gone for almost 4 years. In the meantime, my father told everyone that he had married me off. But my husband died. And he only let me come back when he was sure people had accepted it.
Did Martin not go looking for you when you suddenly disappeared?
People said he did go looking for me, even as far as Colin. But he did not find out anything at all.
If only he had gone all the way to Prague.
Even if he went to the very edge of the world, it would not have been enough. Father would have hidden me somewhere else.
And what about you? Did you ever find another man after that?
No. My father called me a widow, so I stayed a widow.
And he didn't try to find anyone else for you?
You know he did, but it never worked out. I made sure of that.
And did you ever go looking for Martin?
I asked around, but no one remembered anything. Or they chose not to. That was probably my father's doing too. And I could not just leave and go looking for him around the world. I had to take care of Samuel. That was the most important thing.
All right. That's about it.
Before you go, tell me, what was Martin like as a father?
Well, he was strict with me, but not too much. Especially in the forge, he worked me hard. So I dream about him quite often. About that last day and what he said to me while we were forging a sword together. He said a life of adventure can be over before it begins. And that blacksmithing might be a dull job, but I keep my head on my neck.
He was absolutely right.
Well, look at me now.
You saved all our lives. Martin would be proud of you. He raised you well.
I'm sorry to keep you this long, but... well, I never thought I'd have a brother, even if not related by blood.
Well, I did not expect that either. And thank you, my almost brother. If it was not for you, I do not know how today would have ended. What are your plans now?
I'll go back to the Devil's Den. To Zizka and the others. We need to figure out what to do next.
I will see you there then. But first, I have to escort everyone to Colleen. I do not want anything to happen to them on the way.
Everything should be all right now.
Take care of yourselves, dear brother. I will see you this time tomorrow at the Devil's Den.
Have a safe journey.
Sei gesund.
Fuck me!
you alright? I almost didn't make it to you.
We are all right, Be'ezras Hashem, but I was sure they were going to kill us.
Thank you for helping us, for Pikayech Nefesh. Unfortunately, that is all we can give you. Just our thanks.
That's alright. Good luck.
To you too, young man. What is your name, anyway?
Henry of Skalitz.
Henry, if you are ever in Colin and you need something, we will be sure to help you.
Alright. I'll keep that in mind. Have a safe journey. And God be with you.
Yehi rotzen milfonecha Adonai Eloheinu. Velohei avoseinu shetolichenu lesholem.
Sei gesund.
You managed to get the documents. What's next for you? Will you go to Jobst, or come with us to the Devil's Den?
I've been thinking about it, and the time for spying is over. There's no one to convince, no one to break, no one to blackmail.
So what then? You going home?
Not yet. Actually, I'll escort these people first. I feel responsible for what happened, and maybe I can at least make up for it a little bit.
But we still have a lot of work to do. We could surely use a spy master.
A spy master is of no use without his network. Only a few of my people are still here, and I wouldn't bet my life on any of them.
Well, that doesn't matter. Maybe you could be useful in other ways.
No, Henry, I played and I lost. Now it's up to the rest of you.
So the court spy and master schemer would rather be an armed escort to these poor souls now? I didn't expect you to be so bothered by conscience.
I may not have been in this world all that long, but I've done a lot of things already. Some good, some bad. But unfortunately, even the good ones can have bad consequences. So many people dead, driven out of their homes and into poverty. All that, just because they helped me.
There's a war going on. People are dying.
But that doesn't mean we can't feel sorry for them.
All right. Have it your way. Have a safe journey, Sir John of Liechtenstein. God be with you.
And with you, Henry of Skalitz. Take care.
We survived. For a while there, I thought we were gonna die.
Many have died, indeed. It is a hard trial to go through. So many lives lost, the shul in flames.
I'm so sorry. There was nothing more we could do.
You are right. It was too late. How happy I would be if we could get everyone out. But what is done is done.
What will you do now?
Now we must find help in some other community of believers. We will try our luck in Colin. Many of us...
Do you think you'll be pursued?
Well, the mercenaries might follow us, but hope we will split up into smaller groups. So besides, who would chase us when we have nothing?
So the agreement with the lords in Rabors no longer stands.
What makes you think that?
I do, but you've lost everything. I don't think...
It is true that the Kuttenberg Kehille cannot pay for the army now, but others might, Be'ezras Hashem. Especially when they get word of what...
Sarah told me you drove Martin the blacksmith out of town. Why would you do that?
I had my reasons.
But if you hadn't done it, he might still be alive.
Perhaps. But what about you? If he had not raised you, would you be here today helping us?
No. Probably not. Who knows what my mother would have done without him. God be with you, Rabbi.
Sei gesinnt, and please, watch over Samuel.
Return, O Lord. How long shalt thou be wrathful? Have compassion for thy servants. Fill us with thy mercy every morning, that we may rejoice and be glad all our days.
All right, we can go to the Devil's Den.
Fantastic! The more people riding together, the merrier. That applies not only to roads, but also to wenches.
Well, let's just stick to the roads for now. What is it you want?
You must be Henry.
Yes, I am.
I've got a message from Master Chenyek for you. Go and see him in the Ole as soon as you can.
What does he want?
Well, I don't know. I was just told to find you and give you the message.
Greetings, Henry. Slept well?
Greetings to you! You're a bit done in, eh?